Hello, UCR. What's your favorite scary movie?
Random loud noises because it's New Year's.
Yeah.
It's like the whole first 15 minutes of the movie we're going to talk about today.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's okay. That's okay. Hi, Katie McCarthy. How are you?
Hi there. Recovering from a just week of being sick, all in the house. Apparently, Kyle is the only invincible one in this house.
There you go.
So, in other news, I'm getting divorced. That's what it is.
Survivor. There's always going to be a survivor here on Uncensored Horrors, and we thought we would ride into the new year with a New Year's themed little treat for those of us that are experiencing New Year's. Australia will be ahead of you. Australia will be in the future, but America, you'll be in the thick of it by the time this airs. So,
think of it.
I pondered long and hard about a New Year's themed horror movie, and there was a couple, but I decided to go with one that I had never seen before. This is it's I guess a classic. We'll talk about it more later, but I have not seen this, and I was like, let's bite the bullet, let's do it. And today we'll be getting all aboard for 1980s Terror Train, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie looked a bit tired in this movie.
She was tired of the shit.
She was. She'd just done Halloween. She'd done prom night. She's doing this. You can tell her patience is getting a little thin for the horror genre.
She's just like, bitch, do you know who I am?
I'm Laurie Strode, and now you've got me on a train. What's going on?
Motherfucker, I am Laurie Strode.
I know. But, Laurie Strode wasn't really a thing. She was becoming a thing by this time,
we all make some missteps. Got to get our feet wet.
We all
become a legend.
Right. Have you seen this before? Have you this movie?
I'm pretty sure I've seen. I mean, as a connoisseur of bad movies, yes, I'm pretty sure I've seen this before. But It's been long enough where I'm fuzzy on details, and it was worth a rewatch. Yes.
Well, I decided to do this one because I enjoyed Silent Night, Deadly Night so much. I was like, I hadn't seen that one. It was holiday themed. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's try for two, and we'll discuss it how well that went at the end of this one. But
I mean,
I think it's refreshing to go backwards and watch some old stuff that we haven't watched before or haven't watched for a long time.
I very much like older horror movies. If I may, there was a short that took place on New Year's Day with Corey Monteith. I'd have to look up the name of it. I think it was one of those Masters of Horrors films.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which it was it was good if it was in one of those. And I'm pretty sure we should do that someday. But okay, it was Fear Itself, and it was called New Year's Day.
Okay.
That was my favorite New Year's themed.
Yeah, so it was between New Year's Evil, this, and Terror Train. And I was like, well, Terror Train's probably a little bit more zeitgeisty than New Year's Evil.
I think we're going to have more fun with this one no matter what.
Yeah, we'll see. So if you have not seen 1980s Terror Train, spoilers galore coming your way. So pause us, watch the movie, come back. Because we're going to dive in. We've bought our tickets. We're jumping on the locomotive that is taking us to the terror.
Oh,
There's some terrible stuff. So we are
It's
at
a
a
ride.
frat house, Northern Illinois University New Year's Eve party, which a lot of yelling,
A lot.
a lot of
Well,
yelling.
I don't know if you've been to a frat party before.
Yeah, I
They
don't know.
they nailed it.
The lights,
Yep.
all
Very
those
dark.
lights. I would have the flashing lights in the house, in the
Oh,
frat
strobe
house.
lights.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
all stolen traffic lights. Really,
Mm.
it's just like this is not like an epileptic's dream. It's just like okay.
Oh yeah, trigger warning for all you epileptic.
Trigger warning again. May contain flashing lights, and we find the brothers of the frat, trying to, as they do in all of these 80s movies, lose their virginity, score with some chicks. But we meet Alana Maxwell, who is obviously our lead, Jamie Lee Curtis. She is playing the reluctant Bates in a trap for a pledge. Poor Kenny.
Poor Kenny.
Poor Kenny.
That
He's,
was.
he is lured into the house with the I guess pretense that Alana's going to sleep with him and he's going to get rid of his stupid hat and he'll be one of the bros and all that kind of thing. But this is a practical joke gone very wrong.
Here's my question I pose
Yeah.
to you. Would
Uh-huh.
you count that as sexual assault or I mean
I would class it as necrophilia, Nelly. I mean,
I mean that
I get it. Okay, I get it. They're university students, they're college students. You can't just steal bodies and body parts from the morgue.
I mean they are med students, so they are that is accessible to them, I suppose.
But it's
But that's a bit
illegal.
too it's yes, it's illegal and it's a step too far, quite honestly. I guess blow up doll just doesn't do the same job.
I know, but it was
was bad.
A little bit disturbing.
It was very disturbing.
Yeah,
it was messed up.
Alana kind of lures him in, and Kenny gets down to. I thought he was wearing panties for a second. Those yellow underwear, those yellow undies are sexy. They were yellow though.
Well, can't account for hygiene on everyone, I guess.
Yeah, he gets into bed with several parts of a dead woman. Several parts of a dead woman. Gets caught up in the canopy of the bed, screaming and embarrassed. And I thought he was going to like fall and break his neck or something. You know how that happens.
I thought he was going to suffocate or like,
his neck. Yeah.
Yes. Like he was going to hang himself accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same page.
Everyone's kind of traumatized, and that's kind of where the beginning of the movie ends. Like it's just it's kind of quick.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of quick. We fast forward to 3 years later. It's been a very hard 3 years for some of these college students. Woo. They're looking not fresh, let's just say.
Well, again, med students, so I find it believable that they would look like shit. But thinking about my college years, I looked like shit too. So
well, yeah, your liver's got to recover, you know.
You live and you learn.
You live, you learn, and your liver never is the same.
Mm-mm.
The same members of the fraternity and sorority that held the infamous New Year's party are doing another costume party, but this year, something completely different. They've hired a train. Now, this would never fly in the modern day, right?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean,
absolutely not.
Trains still exist, but like, it's like a commuter thing. Like if you're going from like Long Island to New York City or something like that, is what I picture the train. Although I did have a boss when I was working at the TV studio that liked to take the train to a convention to Las Vegas every year. He liked the scenery. That seems like a
Don't
really
get me wrong.
long ride.
I like train travel. We did Vera and I did train travel. When I was over there last, we went to New York City on the train. It was very, very, scenic and lovely. But I just think about what company would hire out the entire train to a bunch of drunk fraternity and sorority people. Like, times I get they're trying to make some kind of comment on the death of Rail as well. Like, there's this whole subplot about how trains are dying out and blah blah blah. You're like, okay.
You know, every time I have watched something that takes place on a train, it never goes well for them. You know, Hank Hill, Bob Belcher, they didn't really have great experiences on a train.
No. So the returning characters are, of course, Alana, class clown Ed, prank ringleader Doc,
I mean,
Jackson, Alana's best friend, and Alana's boyfriend Mo. I love this. Also, there is a magician and a female assistant.
mhm.
Okay,
Are we going there already?
why a magician?
I don't know. I
See,
don't
this
know.
movie kind of just reeks. It's like someone had signed David Copperfield to something, and they're like, "What kind of property can we put him in to try and make him a movie star?" He gives off the biggest serial killer / sexual offender vibes I've ever come across. He's so creepy,
He
and
looks
not in a menacing way, just in a like you're really off-putting.
David Copperfield young just looks like a really young Sylvester Stallone, and I just could not get that out of my head. And maybe that was the look at the time. I don't know. I didn't come around until about 6 years later, but I don't know.
I just
And
don't
he's
understand.
so awkward.
Yeah, like why would you go, all right, this is a New Year's Eve party. It's our last hurrah as college students.
Mhm.
We've got a band. I really need a magician.
This is not a party until we get a musician.
Close up magic.
I mean,
Sleight of hand really does it for you. Like,
magicians are cool and all, but it really does not make any sense.
yeah, it was weird. And
Fun
so
fact,
much yelling.
I dated
So
a
much
magician.
yelling in this part to get on that train. So much yelling. I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah.
And then we get the weird, like, kind of backstory / side story / I don't know, about the train conductor and his wheelchair girlfriend / wife / receptionist. Like, what?
I think,
Okay.
and when I don't remember how far into it we are when it happens, but Jamie Lee Curtis's character finds out Doc is the one who's throwing the party, and she's like, "What?" And she gets all pissed off. Like, how do you not know that?
Yeah.
Stepping onto the train, and I
Right.
also find it very unbelievable that she did not know about the dead corpse. She's just like, I didn't know it was going to go that far. Bullshit, you didn't. It's right in
What
front of
did
you. It's
Yeah,
hard to
what did you
miss.
think it was? Yeah.
Yes!
Unless she hadn't walked into the room, like, you know, plausible deniability, she may not have walked into that room until then.
But it's right in front of her. Like, how do you
But
miss that?
I would have liked a bit more, yeah, like, if we're meant to feel sorry for her,
Right. And
like, I needed a bit more there. Like, she should have been a bit more remorseful.
well, supposedly she went to try to visit him, but like, you're not making her any more
But
likable.
that doesn't come out until too far in the movie. Like, that
Right,
comes out like 3/4 of the way through the movie. Like,
right. I don't
that
feel
should
bad
be
for
brought up
her.
first.
I don't care about her like I care about her in every other movie she's in.
Yeah.
It just to me, like, you're all a bunch of entitled assholes and you're getting what you get.
Exactly. Do you know? So I think of it this way. Look at how damaged Julie James was in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or even in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like after the accident. That's the kind of girl that she should have been. Not like everything's fine.
We need to see some PTSD.
Yeah, we like some fresh PTSD on our final girls, please.
We like a little trauma. Makes them edgy.
Trauma, as Jamie Lee would say. She loves trauma.
Trauma.
But we get off to a start. We're murdering straight away.
I did enjoy that.
Ed gets murdered. His Groucho Marx mask gets, borrowed, and the train like runs over him at a very slow pace. It's just like,
I
oh,
enjoyed that. I'm going to be honest. I
crunchy,
really
crunchy,
enjoyed that.
crunchy.
It was good. It was good.
Now, this is a good concept. I don't mind the concept. I will give it its concept. I just don't know if the execution was as well put out as it could have been. Because we've got a killer who could be anyone on a train full of people.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're like, hello? We're waiting. And we get some really random... The pacing's just all over the place because we go from the party to the train, like, employees, back to the magician. It's like...
Yeah, they
we're
can't
trying
keep
to
their
tell too
lines
many
straight.
stories. Yeah.
Right. Like, I know they were trying to make David Copperfield the red herring. That was the goal. Did I necessarily believe it? Not really. It was just confusing.
I want to know how all those lights were working. Because was there a light tech in that tiny train car working all those ons and offs for him? Because it was the 80s. I don't think technology was at like robotic lighting assistance at that point.
Mean, there were...
Unless it was the assistant.
It was like... Are you talking about David Copperfield or are you talking about the set itself?
The whole thing. The fact that he was there and the lights went off, like, there was lighting cues. Who's doing the lighting cues?
I mean, nowadays you can set them on a timer, and
you got the whole program. You can set your whole show down to the microsecond. But
I gotta think that they had something like that back then too. But
I don't know that in the 80s. I don't know. If you're a behind the scenes tech person, can you tell me if they had a lighting cue design thing back in the 80s?
We really truly need to know.
We do this because that's what, instead of being included and down with the movie, that's what I was focused on. I was like, how are these expertly timed lights happening?
Yeah,
but then again, it could have been the assistant, not on camera when they're not on camera.
This is true.
The assistant. That's
the beautiful assistant.
Yes, that's news. Yes.
We'll get there.
But now there's another murder, a Godzilla murder in the bathroom. I want to know how you got two people in a train bathroom to start with, especially a train bathroom in the 80s. Like, that's an effort.
Yes, that is.
That's an effort.
These kills, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't care about any,
no, I don't care.
Jackson, this guy's name is?
Yes, I believe that was Jackson. I don't care enough to learn their names.
We get a fight, we get lots of screaming, we get a weird band. Like, who hired that band?
Apparently Doc is...
Yeah, we've got to talk about Doc because there was some weird, just the vibe of this. It was a very rapey vibe. And then it was a very homoerotic, between him and Alana's boyfriend. That I was like,
I'm going to make a very bold statement, and I know it's not. It doesn't mean everyone, and if you're getting offended by this, it must be about you. But you've summed up pretty much fraternity life.
Yeah, I get it. I remember university. Hello, I was a drama major. I remember it. I'm just like, the bromance is simmering a lot. It's like, are you sure you wanted those girls there at all, fellas?
It's like, here's hyper masculinity and here's gay. Do you see how close it is?
Then sometimes they go like this.
They do.
Yes,
and then you get a fraternity.
We've all been to a university party. It's all good.
Yes.
It's did the girls really need to be there though? But I don't think the boys would have cared either way.
They wouldn't,
to be honest, because if they weren't stopping them, they would have been stopping each other.
Oh, calm down, frat boys. I'm kidding.
Are we to assume that in those sleeper, there's people just banging all the time? Because
And
every
this-
time they open the curtain, there's screams like, ah! It's like, so in every one of those beds, there's people banging as well.
I mean, it's a college party, so yeah, everyone's off hooking up
Oh.
and getting drunk.
The smell of that train.
It's they're
That's
never
the
going to get
real
that train.
terror.
They're never going to get that train clean again from the
No
murders,
way.
from the
Murders.
debauchery. David
Yep,
Copperfield.
randomness. Yeah.
Never
And we're
clean.
trying to make the train conductor like the hero.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I got
guess.
to. The train conductor was the final girl.
Well, final girl, or like he was the Loomis of the situation, right? He was going to save Jamie Lee.
Yeah,
That's basically
I
it.
think that's what they were trying to go for, was a Strode Loomis relationship. But
Because she can't save herself, because remember, this is still the 80s.
ugh,
It has to be down to some old white guy to save her.
typical.
But there's a little shaboozle shabazzle when he gets the brakeman to come and see that the body's alive despite all that blood.
Mm.
Really kind of bad. Like, how'd they clean up all that blood?
How
In a
they
train bathroom. Because when he goes in there and finds him, there's blood everywhere.
I really think they just took a bucket, this is totally
Sluiced
realistic.
it out.
Good enough.
Everything else has got fluids on it. Might as well be this one as well.
Yep.
Wash it down.
Because that's totally realistic for the way they killed him.
All right. Let's talk about Mitchie,
Shall we?
because she's not a girl's girl, right?
No.
She sees, like, she knows that her boyfriend's scum, you know, and she also sees Mo and Doc leaving with those other random girls, and she's just like, oh well.
Many a friendship has been broken up from me trying to be a girl's girl.
And then
They just never want to believe you.
Then she sends her to go find it, like, walk in on him. It doesn't really happen, but she's like, oh, I don't know, he went that way. And you're like, oh, you're a bit of a bitch, Mitchie.
Mitchy bitchy.
Mitchie, who, well, she gets deaded anyway. She kind of,
Yeah,
not gonna say
she gets got.
she kind of deserves it.
They all do.
Let's be honest. Like, I also have an issue. One of my many issues. Why are they all sitting on the ground?
That was my question too. I was like,
There's no seats on this train. Like, we're just
are we in a preschool? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, we're all sitting crisscross applesauce watching magic shows.
Spoons in the bowl.
Right. So I don't, and then I must have zoned out.
I definitely zoned
Because
out a few times.
I don't
I'll be
know how
honest.
Doc just get stabbed somehow? Sorry, Mo just get stabbed somehow.
I'm double checking this.
I don't remember, because he was like with that chick who looked like a weird mix of Cyndi Lauper and Madonna, with the pants up around the boobs, and he was trying to be a good guy. And it's like, no, he was trying to be a good guy at least.
Let's see.
But he's just sitting next to him, and then next minute he's dead. That's all I remember. Like he pretends to be asleep, and then he's like, "Oh no!" and freaks out.
I'm not breathing. Doc screams. I don't know. Oh, yep, stab wound on the chest.
But when?
I zoned out right about the same time. Got to be honest.
Can't remember. I honestly don't remember it happening. So maybe it was an off-screen thing. I don't know.
From what I'm looking at, it appears it might have been off-screen.
But how are we supposed to know that as an audience?
This movie is clearly not worried about continuity or keeping you on the same page. Or no. It just throw you on a train with Groucho Marx.
I know I've gone to a few university parties. If someone's running around with blood on them, it kind of is a vibe killer. The amount of bloody people in this movie, everyone's like, yay! Was the 80s a different time? Were people a lot bloodier in the 80s?
Wasn't that around Studio 54 and Summer of Sam in the 80s?
No, too late.
Oh,
That was
sorry.
the 70s, baby.
Sorry.
80s is like, yeah, no, I'm just like,
Mm.
I feel like when he was running through the train carrying his friend's limp body. That's
Yeah,
just
that'd be a party foul. Game over for me,
party
man.
foul. Yeah, like normally someone would be like calling an ambulance or something.
Right.
But
At
no,
least.
because Alana as has found, and the conductor have found Mitchie at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and then Mo's dead body gets delivered, and they're breathing, and it's like, "Come on, I need you." It's like, "Oh, okay, Menendez, calm down." It's a bit. Ugh. He gave me weird Menendez vibes, Doc.
Doc is a predator. Period.
Yeah, definitely. And like blood, and then screaming. And why was he so sweaty? For the second half of the movie, he's just like sweaty.
That might have been a cocaine thing.
Yeah, maybe. And then there's dead crew members when he tries to pull the brake,
Yeah.
Yeah. But they sequester everyone and they find more bodies. It's just like, okay, but who are like we don't care about these people, so like
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit
yeah, right. The train comes to a dead halt, they get everyone off the train. Right?
Why did they get off the train? I think that was another moment where I just kind of went, huh?
Yeah, well, I think that they were trying to, I guess, make a count of the people that were there and alive, because you see
Okay.
old mate wandering around with his little book ticking off people's names
Gotcha.
and trying to like even out who was a suspect, who was possibly dead. Da 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 da. Right?
That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Okay. In the snow.
If it's New Year's, it's in the
Yeah.
snow.
But they all think it's a joke. I'm like,
Ah,
but there's a few of you, and look, again, I've been to a party. If something happens, everyone knows straight away.
yeah.
Like if someone's hooking up, everyone knows about it. If someone's throwing up, someone knows about it. If there were fucking dead bodies, people
Everyone
would have
would
known about
know.
it
Yeah.
before that train stopped.
Oh, yeah. Everyone would have been panicking.
But it takes Alana, again, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Our girl.
Common sense queen. And again, she goes, "Oh, that's right. He liked magic, but we had no inclination of it before." Kenny Strangle Street, we'll call him the corpse fucker, liked magic.
Can I ask you,
Yeah.
when you went to parties when you were in college, did you just bring your yearbook around for funsies?
No.
Then why are they pulling out the yearbook? Like, look, Katie likes magic.
I get it. It's like it's their graduation. They're like, maybe they're just doing a bit of nostalgia, because there was always this like, those people that like, oh, remember this? No, not really.
All right.
I can give them that. I can't
All right.
give them the conceit that we didn't mention Kenny liked magic before this.
No, it's just like justifying the magician. Like, oh, maybe
Yeah,
Kenny
it's like,
set it up.
why not? If that was the if you knew that was going to be the plot, why not have him trying to impress girls with close-up magic tricks at the first party, right?
That would make sense. That would tie it in all very
the whole
nicely.
David Copperfield thing would make sense.
I would have made him the magician. Just put a little mask on him. Just look.
It's just like, no, okay, whatever. And this is where Alana tells Doc about going to visit Kenny in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
where he may have been involved in another murder. Hello, no, like,
But we hear nothing about this murder until she brings it up.
and this is a good 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Right. You think if like there were murders happening around, they'd be like, should we be going out when there's a murderer on the loose?
Or the kid that you like, freakishly traumatized was a murderer. You would have told people, right?
Yep.
If she went to visit him, you would have been like, before now, okay, he was suspected in a murder.
Yep. Probably would have been the first thing I came into the party saying, hey, I went and visited so-and-so.
I
He's
went
apparently a
to try
murderer.
and visit Kenny, but turns out he might be a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, so maybe all's well that ends well, and stay out of that.
But these people are supposed to be close friends, right?
You'd
The
never know.
suspension of disbelief that Alana didn't know Doc organized the party,
Right.
and now Alana didn't tell anyone that the people when all her friends are now fucking dead,
Yep.
except for the one that she hates, that she went to visit the guy that they all traumatized.
Yeah, I mean, he's the first person I would tell
Yeah.
something intimate like that. Mm-hmm. Totally
And
believe it.
this is when he's goes into his fully sweaty coke binge and breaks the doors and locks them inside.
Checks out.
Yeah,
Checks out.
Coke
I
binge.
mean, we never saw him doing coke, but checks out.
But just so sweaty, so randomly sweaty out of
sweaty.
nowhere for a snowy evening. Right?
I mean, I too have my sweaty moments on a snowy evening, but that's neither here nor there.
And then she tries to do the right thing, and then she shows what a piece of fucking doucheweed he is, and locks her out when she's screaming for help. that when she was banging on the door, that gave me like the first Halloween moment, because she sounded very similar. I was like, oh, there we go. There's our girl. This is where it kind of gets good for like 10, 15 minutes. Not so much the random, and everyone else is off the train. All right, so we've managed to get everyone else off the train except for the magician and the magician's assistant.
Okay.
Wait, no, the magician's assistant was off the train, but she got back on.
I think
he's in there playing with his sword.
Sorry.
Not a euphemism. He was
literally playing with a sword.
And we cut away. The most annoying thing is that Doc was such a douchebag. Excuse me. But when he gets attacked, we should have seen it. Like, it was a cutaway. It was very PG-13. Like, oh, what's going to happen? Because he thinks it's Mitchie that's
right. Because it's got
he's
her.
Still refusing
her
to. Still refusing to believe that she's dead. But that would the coke binge might make the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe what you want to believe.
Yeah. So we get our chase scene, which this could have been, and it was good. I enjoyed it. David Copperfield got pierced, which is kind of awesome. And this was cool. I didn't see this coming until she sat down at the table when she's going to tell the conductor that she knows who it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's there. That's Kenny. And he takes off the mask. And that's like, whoa, that's so cool. That was pretty cool. And the guy that played Kenny was very creepy.
Now, they want us to believe that he was disguised as the magician's assistant when he wasn't around killing. I have some thoughts.
I have some thoughts about just timeline, because
how
if he's killing everyone,
how is he assisting?
He would be exhausted.
Yep. Not only that, but
it's a train.
Yep.
How are you going about it and not getting caught?
Also, if you know what this person looks like, even if they're in drag, you'd be like,
yeah,
you look familiar.
Excuse me, ma'am, sir. Ma'am.
You really resemble someone I traumatized a few years back.
But I guess that speaks to how much they didn't think of him at all.
This is true.
I kind of get that. But just the logistics of it, when, he's supposed to be killing people, but then back in the train car, there's magic stuff going on. And, if there isn't a lighting program, she's doing the lighting. How are you doing all that lighting for David Copperfield and killing people at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
I did like that whole Jamie Lee attack thing. That was pretty fun. That earring, rip an earring out, and then
I didn't like that.
I
It made me
know. I've seen it
uncomfortable.
happen too many times. It's like, ugh.
Yep. No, please don't.
And
That
then
hurts.
when she locked herself in the cage and he's smashing the lights, and everything, I was like, that's pretty intense. I liked it. He fucked her up a fair bit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole point of a final girl is to traumatize her as much as humanly possible.
She didn't get that fucked up in Halloween, though. Not the first one. She got
Did
pushed
she,
down a
though?
flight of stairs. She got a little bit scratched with a knife.
Did she though?
Yeah, she got.
I
It was
mean,
more
she-
mental. I guess it was more mental
Yeah.
anguish in Halloween.
Just-
Then-
they gotta fuck you up physically, mentally, or both.
Yeah.
It's the only
But,
way you can be a final girl.
Yes. When he's grabbing her and saying, "Kiss me," it's like, oh, that's very. He's giving me creepy Thin Man vibes from Charlie's
No.
Angels, right?
No means no, Kenny.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And she's apologizing, doing the best Jamie Lee. PTSD?
It's a little too late for that, don't you think,
It's
there, Alana?
another. I love that his regression into PTSD, he goes full Britney Spears and just spins. Spinning and grabbing, spinning and grabbing. I am spinning and grabbing.
Just need those clippers.
Yeah. But anyway, conductor comes with shovel, cracks him,
Mhm.
and yeah, out the train to his death. I love that the body doesn't clear the river's edge. It's like, oh, there goes both your legs broken now too. It's like, oh god, you're not getting out. You are not getting out of here alive. And that's kind of the end of the movie.
Question mark.
Well, no, it's definitely the end.
An agonizing hour and 37 minutes.
Yeah, look. I think it says a lot that this movie, the producer, the central idea was Halloween on a train.
Ah, yeah. I mean, his wife told him it was a bad idea, but he wasn't going to listen.
So it's like, okay, Halloween on a train, but
Okay.
there was potential.
They,
Potential.
I mean, would you believe this was shot in 4 weeks?
Yes, I would.
I would too.
I love this little tidbit. There was no stage show magician in the original script, but the producer was a fan of magic tricks and illusions, so a magician character was written in.
Yeah. I mean, might as well, right?
Right.
It was the director. I love this guy's name, and I'm going to butcher it, but I love it. Roger Spottiswoode. Is that how you pronounce it? I like it. Sounds like a porn name. Go
Yeah.
for it. Shot in 4 weeks. This was done back to back with prom night.
Yeah. So she was tired, girl.
She was tired, and she didn't waste. She just gave prom night all of her goods. She's like, I can't.
I can't. I do like that. So the title had changed during development. Terrible Train. It was originally called.
They should have stuck with that.
No, because then it was changed to Switchback, which I think is a cooler title, right? Because he's switching back.
Oh,
You know,
there we go.
And-
Okay.
Train
Yep.
switchbacks up and down mountains. I love it. And then Train to Terror, and then finally Terror Train.
This was also remade in 2022.
Yeah, with
And
what's his name?
It was also like it was an actual Halloween party this time. So
Oh,
They
so they went full tilt into it.
yep, they leaned into it.
That's good.
It's not going to get any better. Let's lean into it, they said.
Let's do it.
Let's go for it. Let's see who was in that one. Anyone we know?
What's his name isn't it?
You have to give me a little help here.
No, I thought it was someone else. Never mind. It's all good.
I say that there's absolutely no one.
Absolutely no one.
That I know in this. And when I clicked on this accidentally, by the way, it was like I maybe watched the first clicked on it accidentally and in Espanol.
Oh.
Just It looks
Hey
like
now.
it from what I saw, almost like a shot for shot remake.
Well, they're saying it wasn't too bad, but they also made a sequel to the remake. So where the survivors get on another train, it's like, yeah, that's the last thing you would do,
It's like going back to the freaking cabin.
right?
But he did. But Ash
Look at
went
how
back
many
to the
times
cabin.
we do that.
Ugh. What are you gonna do?
Okay, I don't think it's any secret that this was not super enjoyable. I
No.
struggled through this.
I struggled through it too.
I watched it in 3 parts. I was like, oh god.
I tried to rewatch it today to get the parts that I missed. It's the same exact parts.
Yeah, it's just like maybe it wasn't there to begin with. That's the thing.
I don't know.
It could have worked, right? It could have worked because it borrows from those great whodunit like Orient Express and Halloween. Like imagine combining a murder mystery and a slasher on a train. If it
I'm
was done well.
wondering if they had more time than 4 weeks, if this could have been like hashed out a little more. I want to know why it was only 4 weeks. Like, is that all they were offered? Is that all like, I don't know. Movie making's expensive, so I gotta imagine it was money. But
well, it was made in Canada as well, so it was a tax haven. So it might be a bit of a write-off.
So it could have been better. It could have been Leprechaun.
I feel like there could have been a bit more mystery, a bit more cat and mouse, a bit more of all of that.
They could have put a little more effort into it. I think if they actually like
too many characters, I think it was a big problem as well.
I think if they had taken out the magician thing, like you either got to commit to it, like you either have to establish that Kenny likes magic and then go with that,
magic,
or cut it out completely and just focus on kids getting hammered on a train, and then you can kind of focus more on the cat and mouse thing.
Right. You can't have like redemption story / weird magician /
it's got to be
bromosexual alcoholic rapists. With,
it's got to be one or the other,
and a costume party. And then a social commentary on the death of the locomotive industry.
I mean,
just throw it in.
There are other horror movies that do social justice messages so much well. I'm looking at you, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I'm just like, okay. And look, I can see why Jamie Lee was like,
it had to be contractual. There's no way she read the script and was like,
she only had the fog after this, right? This would have had to be like second to last horror movie in that first run, because
that's right, she was in the
fog. It has to be, because she was in the fog with her mother. If in Halloween Prom Night Terror Train.
It up.
Yeah, it has to be, because you can be like, what's going on here, girl? I don't.
All right, let's see.
We're going to understand.
Going through her vast.
No, okay.
Okay, here we go.
Her next film following Halloween was The Fog, then Prom Night, and then Terror Train.
Oh wow, yeah. It looks like she did Halloween, Love Boat.
Yeah, as you do.
Buck Rogers. I don't know any of these. The Fog, Prom Night, Terror Train.
Terror Train's the one that killed it.
I mean, she almost redeemed herself with Escape from New York, but she's not credited in it.
No wonder she had such a little chip on her shoulder for a long time, you know? About the horror.
All within like a year. And then
that's a lot.
And then she'll do Halloween 2 and then Halloween 3. Oh wow.
Halloween 2 is a contractual thing, so
I know, but like that was 81. Halloween 3 was 82.
She was busy. That's why she was a scream queen.
She was a busy girl, and there's movies like in between that.
Yeah,
and TV
horror movies. Yeah,
she's a girl.
That's why she's a living legend. She's still pumping them out today. She's in every movie and TV show that you could come across at the moment. It's Jamie Lee Curtis again.
Time out. I have some issues here. I am looking on IMDb.
Right.
Terror Train is rated higher than Prom Night. A great injustice has been done.
There's no accounting for taste. really.
That is. What are y'all thinking? Really? Did you watch Prom Night? Or did we watch the same movie? Did we?
I don't know. But there are people. There are movies that people just don't enjoy. Like when I think of this era of movies, and I know it was a little bit earlier than this, but the original When a Stranger Calls, scary shit. Scary shit. Carol Kane, like babysitting, like the whole babysit, like. But people are like, I don't. I'm like, but you can't suspend the reason, like, if Halloween's a classic, right? Because it's taking the all-American ideals of, trick or treating and babysitting and all that kind of thing, and subverting it and go, the evil is in your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
What's scarier than being the babysitter and the call is coming from inside the house?
I think that will always be scary just because it's so realistic. Like someone really could break into a house while you're babysitting and try to get you. That's very. I think the more real we get, the scarier it is.
Exactly, which is why I think why people have such a against home invasion horror.
I think some of the best films I've seen in the last 10, 15 years were all home invasions. Yeah. Like Strangers, You're Next.
Funny Games. Yes. All that kind of stuff.
Like these are all films that I'm just like, these are top notch and very practical for the most part.
Right.
Ready or Not?
Ready or Not? I mean, exactly.
I guess I would call it kind of a home invasion, but like Knives Out, let's do this. Like, very simple concept. And when you really just kind of put the time into the plot, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then you have Terror Train.
Yeah. Well, look, it had potential. It did. I don't think Jamie Lee will be rushing back to do a 40 years later Terror Train sequel. Let's be honest.
There's only one man that can save this, and it's Samuel L. Jackson. Snakes on a Train.
Snakes on a Train with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Call me.
Well, we survived Terror Train, and we hope that you survive your New Year's as well. I mean, there's got to be some good stuff coming on the horizon. Well, we know there is. So, what are you looking forward to, Katie, for 2025?
In general, or like in the horror-wise?
Horror. We're on a horror show, Katie. What are you looking for?
Oh, God. Yellow Jackets.
Yes. Valentine's Day surprise for us.
Yellow Jackets, Fear Street.
Yes, big looking forward to on Fear Street.
Those are my bigs. And book-wise, I pre-ordered my Grady Hendrix novel.
I did it yesterday as well. I know we did last summer. Comes out next year too, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they're filming now. So
that's another one that would be fun to watch.
I don't think it'll be ready for July. So I think it's later in the year.
Unless they're going to rush through it, which would be a bad move.
It's filming here now, so
go find them.
Yeah, I think they're in Queensland, so they're up Luke's territory, but he's not here. He would die if he saw Sarah Michelle Gellar in person.
What?
I'm looking for, and now that we have confirmation of Jennifer Love Hewitt, like I was getting a little bit panicky when he got here. Freddie Prinze Jr. got here, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to start filming." I'm like, "Oh God, please don't make it about Ray." Who wants to watch a movie about Ray?
I like Ray, but he is a supporting character.
He is, at best, who shouldn't have survived the first film. Let's be honest. Julie should have been the sole survivor of that first film. Now, I think
Julie should have been the sole survivor of the second one too, but
Brandy.
I'm fine with Brandy surviving. I'm saying
they're leaving Brandy out in the wind. She hasn't got invited to this new movie. Maybe they're planning on another sequel so Brandy can come back again.
I was saying they really need to bring her back.
Well, she's having a Brandy slot. She had her movie. She had her horror movie this year.
Didn't get to see that.
About the baby and the mother-in-law and the weirdness and the.
I heard it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was an A24 moment. I could be wrong.
We'll have to watch that.
We'll have to watch it. But Yeah, I think that there's definitely. I'm going to go see Nosferatu because it's only coming out here
I'm so excited to
tomorrow.
see Nosferatu, but looking back on 2024, what were some of your favorite horror movies?
God, I can't even remember what came out this year. I haven't seen The Substance, so
I haven't
everyone's
seen
like
that
half
either.
not about the. Oh, Longlegs.
Good boy. Good
Longlegs was
boy.
my highlight. I'm pretty sure.
Good
What did we watch
boy.
before Longlegs though? I can't remember. We've done
Uh,
so many of these shows.
What did we watch?
It was something. It was something, and then Longlegs. I can't remember, but
Was it
that's
Strangers Chapter 1?
chat. It was. And where's
It,
that sequel? Hello.
yep.
They were filmed. Those 3 movies were filmed back to back, and that second one still isn't out yet.
I think
I
some
can
of
smell a. I can smell a February release coming. It's like
you
we'll
can
bury
sniff
this
it out.
movie somewhere.
I-
I'm not jiving on where they're going with that either. Have you seen the trailer for the new one?
I have not. I'll have to watch it.
There's a teaser trailer. I'm not down from where they're taking it.
I'll have to look it up.
So
But
upsetting.
this year, some of my favorite were Longlegs. We all know I was so hyped for Longlegs.
Yeah,
and
it was worth it though. Like
it was.
that's the rare occasion where something's actually stood up. And the thing is, the marketing for Nosferatu is very similar to you don't see Count Orlok.
I love Robert Eggers, so I know
Give
I'm
us
gonna
that
love
reveal.
I know I'm gonna love it. Grayson was asking me to go, and I said absolutely not. Not
I think
because
that's
not because no, not because of the content, because it's Robert Eggers and he likes to take his time. He likes to give you the moment. He likes to build it up, and it's beautiful. It's always gorgeous. It's always a slow burn, but it is always so worth
You
it.
don't need a kid going, Mom.
No, he will not ruin that for me. So I'm looking forward to Nosferatu. I really liked Longlegs. Smile 2 was actually so much better than I thought it was going to be. I was very surprised. I enjoyed it. And Azrael was amazing. And it's on Shudder. And I'm really late to that game.
There's so much that I missed this year. I never saw Late Night with the Devil. Like
that's also on my list. Late Night with the Devil. That's on my list. Let's see. Azrael, Late Night with the Devil, Longlegs, Smile 2.
There is something I'm looking forward to that I forgot to mention.
What's that?
Welcome to Derry.
Yeah, see, we're not on the same page about that.
You're not on the same page.
We're not
You
on
just
the
don't want
same
that
page
cloud
about
back in your life. Speaking of a Skarsgård performance, he's going to step back
that
in. And,
man.
I know. He's like, I think I read a little interview where he's like, I'm stepping away from horror for a while after this. It's like, yeah. Yeah, serial killing, multi-generational clowns, vampires.
He's just good in
understand.
whatever he does. He really is.
He is.
He's a Skarsgård, so I get it. Like it's in the family, but like when I think about him in like John Wick, and then I think about him in It, and although
And the thing is,
I didn't watch Ruby Crow though.
We're all gonna have to, no one did. We're all gonna have to be super careful, and I'm gonna have to get off certain TikToks because Scream goes into production very soon, and I will not have this spoiled for me.
I have my theories.
I want to know, like, this cast is massive.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a bloodbath, just quietly.
I want it to be. I want it to be a bloodbath like the last one. I need it.
I'm very surprised Mason Gooding's back.
Like that. I love him. I think he's great.
I know. I don't. Jasmine Savoy Brown hasn't signed on yet. So are we getting one twin?
We need them both.
But she can kind of, I guess she can kind of make her choices. She's having a kind of hot minute with Yellow Jackets and really everything that she's in. So,
what else are we getting in 2025? Black Phone 2, it looks like we're getting.
Right.
Which we all know how I feel about Ethan Hawke.
Well, I don't know. He can't be in it though, can he?
He is.
He's in it?
He's in it.
Okay.
He's in it. There's not a whole lot about what it's actually about.
I think it's also too early at the moment for people to be showing their cast as to what's coming out. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that kind of gets drip fed, especially with horror.
Hmm. What else are we
But-
getting? We're getting another Conjuring movie.
The Last Rites. Conjuring, The Last Rites.
We are also getting another FNAF movie. Grayson is very
Which is
excited
good.
about that.
I'm down for more Five Nights at Freddy's. I thought that was good.
I'm ready for that too. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. 28 years later, which the marketing for that.
Yeah, look. I'm not interested. Love
Really?
the first one. Yeah, I love the first one, but like, I think I'm zombied out.
No, I'm ready for it.
You've got to
I'm
think
ready.
how much zombie material we've had since the original 28 Days Later.
I think it's going to be great. I
don't
think
know.
I think
I don't think I'm going to rush to see it. That's just my opinion.
I think The Last of Us and Walking Dead has kind of like set a path for them to kind of expand. And
really? I think The Walking Dead beat a dead horse to death.
I mean, they should have ended it a long time ago, but they set it up so that movies like that could
keep
come
doing
about.
spin-offs. And if you like TV serial killers, Dexter has seemingly done quite well, the prequel. So much so that there is a Dexter Resurrection coming, so a continuation of New Blood is coming out, and there's also another prequel series in the making about John Lithgow's Trinity Killer.
What else are we getting? We're getting Until Dawn. Have you ever played that
I've
video
forgotten
game?
about Until Dawn.
Have you played that video game?
I fucking love that game.
I am cautiously optimistic.
I'm just sad that
I
they
loved
didn't get
that game.
the actors from the game. Like, where's Hayden? Get Hayden in there.
Where's Rami? You know?
Yeah. Well, they probably couldn't afford Rami Malek, let's be honest.
This is true. You know what else looks really good? Wolfman.
Wolfman's like in a couple of weeks too. So I think I'm going to see Nosferatu, and then I think 2 weeks later Wolfman comes out.
I think that looks really, really good.
I think that was shot here too as well.
And after The Invisible Man was so
good.
so good. So good.
Right. We're going to get a lot of Universal Monsters stuff because that whole theme park is opening this year. So we're going to get Universal Monsters out the wazoo. I hope they don't modernize everything though, because there's something to be said for those black and whites, those classic ones. I don't need everything to be remade, and I don't need the remake to be the focal point.
Wow. Looks like we're getting another Hell House LLC if you are a fan of that franchise.
Is that sequel number 568?
You know, I don't think they're bad for what they are. They're not.
Oh, and if you are after books, Danielle Harris has an autobiography coming out. That should be interesting.
What else?
Horror related.
Oh, Thanksgiving 2.
We'll see. I feel like that's been coming forever.
We've got some really good stuff coming out. It's going to be a wonderful year.
Yeah, we are, and as I threatened, we are going to take a trip down Elm Street soon. We've got to go back to Derry. We're gonna be doing all the things. Hopefully, we're going to have a few more horror interviews and stuff this year or next year. It's this year by the time it airs. So we're going to keep coming at you for what will be year 5. Year 5. Wow.
when you do what you love, Steve, it doesn't feel like work.
Right. Well, thank you for joining me. I have loved that this is the end of the conversation about Terror Trade. I will not be buying a ticket again, just quietly.
No, I will be taking the plane.
Yep. I'd rather a monorail, to be honest.
Monorail. Maybe a horse and buggy, terror buggy.
Yeah, terror steamboat, something.
There is a steamboat movie coming out.
Well, yeah, that Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie thing. That's horror in its own segment. But
I will be watching it.
Folks, Happy New Year's, and make sure you are a convincing drag queen if you want to be a serial killer.
Happy New Year, everyone.